In 1999, a gaming mouse was barely even a thing. Most players loaded into matches of Quake or Counter-Strike using whatever mouse happened to come with their family's computer. Then, the Razer Boomslang arrived and challenged the idea that a mouse was just an ordinary office tool. With its futuristic design and unusually high sensitivity, it felt like it had been built for a completely different purpose: winning. The boomslang was not perfect. It still used a ball sensor, meaning it needed to be cleaned, and maintenance had to be done on the mouse quite often. But gamers quickly noticed something important. It was designed with them in mind. For one of the first times, a company wasn't selling a mouse for spreadsheets and emails. It was selling a mouse for headshots, flicks, and clutch plays. That simple shift in thinking made players realize their hardware could be just as important as their skill. As the boomslang gained attention, it helped spark a new conversation across the gaming world. Players began comparing performance, comfort, and precision instead of simply accepting whatever hardware they had. The idea that different shapes, sensitivities, and features could give players a competitive edge started to take hold, laying the foundation for the gaming mouse market we know today. More than 20 years later, every lightweight esports mouse and every high performance sensor can trace part of its lineage back to the boomslang. Mice like the Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro and Razer Viper V3 Pro exist in a world the boomslang helped to create. Its greatest achievement wasn't a specification or a feature. It was convincing an entire generation of gamers that the mouse in their hands could matter just as much as the game on their screen. 27 years later, we have companies literally designing mice after concept cars that never got made. In the briefcase, I've got an Angry Meow Infinity. And right here, I've got the Gravastar Mercury X Pro. I'm going to be comparing the two side to side with one another. Welcome to Head to Head. Packaging, I can already tell you, edge goes to Angry Meow. So we're going to start with that one first. Oh, mama. I have never seen anything look quite like that. Whoa. Yeah, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna look at the mouse first real quick. Take a look at that freak. What in the world? This is unlike anything I've ever held in my life. Very small skates on there in the four corners. And you can see right here something really interesting. This is the main thing that they were advertising with the mouse, was this hot swappable battery. Apparently reconnects you in 1.2 seconds. I don't know why they went down to the specificity of the 0.2 seconds, but you know, whatever. But you run out of battery, you grab one, you just slap it in right there and you're good to go for another handful of hours. This thing is beyond clean looking though, and I must say, I was expecting it to be far less comfortable than it is. I do not mind the feel of this at all. It is a little awkward for my ring and pinky finger, but nothing I can't get used to. The clicks feel incredible. The side buttons feel a little bit light and a little bit squishy. This thing is made out of magnesium though, so it's a pretty tough cookie. Despite its shape and how it's designed, this thing weighs 49 grams. I was expecting a lot less, just judging by how it looks. But let's get into the rest of the box. Here we have the absolutely colossal dongle that comes with this thing, as well as your other battery. A sexy little bag that you can keep your mouse in, with the angry meow paw ever keeping watch. And I'm not even kidding, probably the best USB-A to USB-C cable that has ever been in one of these boxes for a mouse that I've come across at least. Here we have grip tape and the funniest little package of extra skates that I've ever seen in my life. Okay, impressively, this thing does have a 3950 sensor in it, as well as the two hot swappable batteries, which I'm curious to see if actually make a big difference while gaming. But that sensor is a good sign. I'm excited about that. So, especially on my glass mouse pad, there shouldn't be any performance issues on there because 3950s do really well on glass. But I'm going to plug this thing up and start to give it a test drive. And I always say those exact words, but it feels even more appropriate now with this mouse to call what I'm doing a test drive. Okay, so I actually just came across something unexpected. This is actually not a USB-C to USB-A cable. This is a USB-C to USB-C cable, which is interesting. First time I'm seeing that, but this is not a budget mouse. This is the real deal. And there is the dongle in all her glory. I believe flicking this little switch on the bottom all the way to the left is going to put you in Bluetooth mode, and flicking it all the way to the right is going to put you in 2.4 gigahertz mode. Spin test. Decent spin. Alright, well, if I click down here and try to actually open the app into full screen, it just gives me a bunch of Chinese, so I don't know what any of that means. So I'm just gonna spam click this thing until something hopefully happens. Not exactly what I expected, but here we go. So the mouse is fully charged, the battery on the dongle is charging. That's cool. We're going to go over to DPI. We're on 800 right now. We're going to do 1600 instead. We're going to go on 2000 DPI, liftoff distance low, motion sync off, blast mode, forces the sensor to operate continuously at its maximum internal frame rate, ensures peak tracking precision, and most responsive cursor feel possible. Sounds good to me. I'm definitely interested to see the comfort level of something like this when you're actually in-game playing with it. Because while yes, this does look awesome, it looks very sleek, you just feel cool owning something or having something like this. The only reason to really buy it would be if it actually performs and does well. 3950 sensor, so I'm expecting good things at least. Nothing to complain about looks-wise, nothing to complain about feel-wise right now. Weight feels really good. It's 49 grams. It actually does feel a little bit lighter than 49 grams when you're just kind of moving it around. But I do have hesitation in saying that it will be a good mouse to actually, play with. But let's find out. And just for anybody that's curious, somebody saw the Lotus Evanora concept car and said, yep, we're making a gaming mouse out of that. Which, I'm not going to lie to you, I appreciate. I think you need to be able to do some really stupid crap in order to make some really great crap. The mouse itself is entirely beautiful. I like to keep these reviews simple. I don't want to go into a whole bunch of graphs. I don't want to talk about how great these clicks feel for me whenever you're not the one actually here pressing them. I do like to talk about shape just a little bit, because shape is a big deal to me. But I've always liked when something that could be so simple just goes the extra mile to take a step to make something look as insane as this thing does and function exactly the same. So that's the main thing that any of these reviews are going to be doing. Which one feels better in my hand? Which one serves its purpose the best? I'm testing the AM Infinity versus the Gravastar Mercury X. But at $155, you really, really need to be sure that what you're getting is not only going to last, but something you're going to be able to perform with. So let's find out if you can. Angry Meow, step up. Let's see what you got.
mag.
Last stop standing. Op 4 eliminated. Op 4, last operator standing.
Now that we have beheld the magic that is the AM Infinity mouse, the Gravastar Mercury X Pro, I thought it only fair to take two mice that look like spaceships and compare them to one another. I would be lying if I said I'm as excited about this one, but I have actually heard surprisingly good things. On your left, we have the AM Infinity mouse. On your right, the Gravastar Mercury X Pro. And just a view of the undercarriage of both of them. Off the initial feel, I might prefer the side feel of the AM Infinity mouse, just because I don't love these slits right here. Skate-wise, the Gravastar actually feels a little bit better on my mouse pad right out of the gate. Spin test. Good spin. And in the box, we have the actual final boss of shitty USB-A, USB-C cables. The one for the Angry Meow is actually pretty good. This one is just atrocious. Grip tape for ruining your mouse. A booklet that nobody ever reads. Extra skates. That's nice. And the mothership dongle. That's not the actual name of it. But that sounds pretty cool, so maybe Gravastar should just hire me to name stuff. Always wanted to get paid for that. Clicks take a little bit less effort than they do on the AM Infinity mouse. I like the shape, it feels a little bit smaller in the hand, but I don't typically main mice that feel small in my hand. I typically like a really full feeling mouse, and despite not looking like it has a lot of substance to it, the AM Infinity mouse does feel really full in the hand. So let us retreat our Infinity mouse into the nice bag that they provided for us. Now, I will not lie, when I first started getting heavily into Rainbow Six Siege and had aspirations of playing it competitively, I did just look up what kind of great competitive mouse I should buy, and this one did pop up quite a few times. It's priced the same as a lot of other high-end mice, has similar specs to a lot of other high-end mice, and it just happens to look about 12 times as cool as any of the other mice. What I settled with, though, was a Razer Death Adder V4 Pro. I've since then broadened my horizons and found stuff that I like even more than that, but that is my base standard for gaming mice. That's the baseline. And after almost buying one of these and waiting this amount of time, I can say that I'm not disappointed with the feel of this thing at all. I mean, I would have liked this. I would have liked this just as much, I feel like, if I had gotten this instead of the Death Adder. There we go. We have our little xenomorph egg plugged in. Just let her breathe for a minute. Oh, yeah. Wonder what that does to the battery of the mouse. Okay, I kind of like that. When you're using it, it's off. When you're not using it, it's on. I appreciate that. All right, here's our Gravastar software. Already on 1600 DPI. That's very nice. Going down to 0.7, select mode. Motion sync, no thank you, 2000 hertz polling. This mouse did not come with a lot of charge on it, so I'm gonna charge this thing for about 20 minutes. All right, this thing is charged about 0.9% in about 30 minutes, so that's great. Let's just get to gaming with it then.
I'm reloading. 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 Mobile cover.
Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
Alright, first couple of hours with this thing, definitely similar to the AM Infinity. I appreciate the RGB with it. It definitely gives it a great look. The RGB on the AM Infinity is not quite as colorful or quite as soothing as this one. They do have an sort of inner like transparent shell in here that holds all the RGB lights in it. I wonder how much the mouse would weigh if you took all of that out. The AM Infinity, if you take the battery out of it, it loses 10 grams. It's a 39-gram mouse. But this and the AM Infinity right now are 49 with the battery in the AM, and this one, no modification, it's just as it comes, it's 49 grams. I want to say that I like the feel of this one more, despite it being a little less tall. I've talked a lot about how I like when a mouse fills my hand. This one has a very filling feeling. I didn't think that at first, but the more I mess with it, I really like it. I also know that the switches on here are not as good as the AM Infinity mouse, but I almost want to say I prefer these switches. Not very much travel time on them, very responsive, very satisfying, spammable click. I'm going to keep messing with them. My plan is to kind of maybe stick with one of these for a long while and see how good I can get with it. I will say this might be the best scroll wheel of any mouse that I've had. Very satisfying, sharp click. You don't have to push it down too far. And it has this weird sort of like wavy texture on it. But that helps a lot for like the grip of it when you're just trying to scroll the wheel. So I like that. I appreciate it. But yeah, great mouse. AM Infinity, great mouse. I'm going to keep messing with these. I'll let you know if anything goes wrong or I change my mind about anything. Wanted to show the Gravastar with the lights off here for a minute. It is a absolutely beautiful mouse. I've been playing pretty decently with this. I'm going through a little bit of a slump in Rainbow Six as it is, but this mouse is not to blame at all. It is a very good mouse. I prefer the clicks on this mouse to the AM Infinity. I might prefer the AM Infinity overall, though. I can't quite tell yet, but there's nothing to knock this mouse about. I was not expecting a lot of great things when I picked this up. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. I don't know of any like pros that use it. I don't know anybody that just even has one. The slits in the side, I've decided that I was being very, very picky about earlier. They serve for some pretty good grip on the side. I think if you're complaining about slits in the side of your mouse, you probably are just a little prideful and want everything to be perfect all the time when there's absolutely nothing wrong with some slits in the side of a mouse. It makes me actually want to get a Beast X Pro with side slits just to see what that's like. But yeah, really good mouse. Magnesium build. These are what I'm starting to prefer rather than a plastic shell. There's nothing wrong with plastic. Magnesium just feels sturdier to me. I like the way they feel. I like the way they play. I like the way they click. Haven't had a problem with any of them recently. But I'm going to switch over to the AM Infinity from here on and do some testing on that one to see how I can play with that, because I've been maining this one for a couple of days now.
Four last operator standing.
Hostile spotted. Basement. Doorway trapped. Stay clear of blast zone.
Op 4, last operator standing. One friendly operator remaining. Located the diffuser. Destroy it.
Yo, good way to stay calm, dog.
Friendly destroyed the diffuser. Mission successful.
Or wait, no, it was a Discord drop.
Is there one
Actually,
green?
went to the hallway.
One above 5.
Snake is about to go down that hallway towards you, Bandit. Where you
Heard,
kill that
heard.
other guy.
Heard.
Snake's 20. Snake's 20.
Chuck it.
Nice.
Dun, 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 dun. You're dead.
Ram was above last.
Still there, same. Okay.
Op 4 eliminated.
Cool.
Hell
Is there a
yeah.
hatch there? How'd she end up there? Oh, alright.
Op 4
Walked in, Thatcher.
Yep.
He's behind the printer. Walking up. I'm not sure if you have C4.
No
Closer to the
way,
fountain.
dude. One break. Snake break.
Oh my god, I ducked at just the right moment.
Left side door.
90.
wall bang
Watch
in.
your fountain rotate. One fountain. Swinging in.
Indoor. Nice.
One radio window. Hot metal.
90,
Havana
90 hall.
downed radio window.
friendly operator remaining.
Walked in probably.
Op 4
No,
eliminated.
Nice. Oh, you down the hib. The hib.
Yeah.
Dahaba.
This is why you get paid the big bucks.
Dahaba.
We got a blitz in a buck.
Okay.
Spawn Valley.
Blitz is dead.
One's going east. Repel.
Bird.
Other shield dead.
Bird.
Buck dead.
God damn. Or he's down below.
You have been spotted by hostiles. Fall back.
Hell yeah, Crow.
Hostiles eliminated.
Just like, look, I even gave him time to kill me, and he didn't. Look at this shit.
What? How did he? Okay.
Four last
Yes.
operator standing.
See, that's why I put that
Last
there.
one sandwich. On 5.
Calling. Calling.
One friendly operator.
35 HP.
Cone. In small. In small. Nice.
Op 4 eliminated.
Wow.
How did you know he was like gonna die from that?
I didn't.
He's 35 HP in my gunfight.
Right here on 2 ping. 2 ping.
Dead.
Oh, this guy's ears.
Friendly operator remaining. Seconds. 10 seconds left.
Hell yeah.
Four eliminated. Mission
Good shit.
Server dead.
Hey, he's trying to shoot me.
How the fuck did I get hit by that? But Grim just bypassed it. One to my left. Next. I'm guessing that's. Yep.
Op 4 last stop standing. Op 4 neutralized.
Reloaded. Cover me. On my 12. Found enemy.
Op 4 last operator standing.
Swapping back!
4 last operator standing. Op 4 neutralized.
Alright, if you've sat through the entire video to this point, I cannot express my gratitude enough to you. This is something new that I've been doing. It's a new hobby of mine, collection of mice, all of that. And I'm just having a lot of fun doing it. So I apologize if I'm not great at it, but if you've sat through this whole video, you're a superstar. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot to me. First of all, testing both of these mice was so much fun. I didn't know that stuff like this existed before a couple of months ago. Holding one in my hands, either one of them now is just like a surreal feeling. I love peripherals, they're just so interesting and cool to me. Also, hopefully my audio sounds a little better. I did just get a Fi-Fine microphone, so hopefully that's a bit of an improvement. Also haven't been teaching this week, so my voice is in a little better shape. But yeah, some time has passed, and I used each of these individually, mained both of these mice for about a week each. Started testing some other mice like this. I've got the Lamzu Thorn V2 right here. Beautiful, by the way. And I would just use either one of these once a day. I would interchange them and everything just so I could continue testing other stuff but still get my reps in with these. As for which one of these mice is better, both a metal build. Both feel very, very good to use. Both out of the box are pretty damn incredible. If I were picking for feeling alone, I'm picking the AEM Infinity. If I were to pick for what I think is the better mouse of the two, I'm going the Gravastar Mercury X Pro. I do think it's the better mouse. It's the one I had more fun using. Bunch of plus points for having a web driver instead of a software that you need to download. A very weird, sketchy software, by the way. Where this one would almost steal my heart is with the hot swappable battery on the bottom. I think that is something that almost all mice should be doing. That is a great idea that needs to be implemented more, especially for something that has such a dog shit battery like the Lamzu right here. I'm having to charge this Lamzu quite a bit. If it had a hot swappable battery, infinitely more convenience. But yeah, the Gravastar is my winner. Despite the Infinity being a lot more abstract and a lot cooler of, you know, a concept and having some really great implementation like the hot swappable battery. I mean, they both have 3950s. They're both metal build. They're both way too expensive. But if you were going to go all out on one of these mice, or if either one of these for whatever reason is your dream mouse, I can't hold that against you at all. They're great mice, and you want to splurge on one of them, go ahead. They do seem a bit expensive though for what they are. I think I played better with the Infinity just because it had a little bit of a placebo effect, but all around the better feeling and more practical mouse to me is going to be the Gravastar. So that's my winner for this head-to-head video. Stupid fun testing each one of them, but congratulations to the Gravastar Mercury X Pro. Gravastar, you are Mountain Meat certified. Congratulations. The Mountain Meat head-to-head mouse winners so far are the Vaxi MPO1S V3 and the Gravastar Mercury X Pro. If there's any other matchups you'd like to see, any other similar mice that drop that you'd want to see a comparison side to side with, I'm going to try to get a lot better at these, a lot more detailed, and put a lot more time into doing stuff like this. This is a passion of mine. I love doing it. So please make suggestions. I'd like to do a bunch of head-to-head videos and then throw them all together in a big head-to-head to see like which one takes the cake of like all of the winners, you know. Do like the meat cup or something like that. Ooh, that's a gross ass name, but we're sticking with it. But yeah, I can't show enough gratitude. If you pick up either one of these mice or already own either one of these mice, let me know your experience with it. Reach out to me in the comments. I read all my comments. I'll reply to them. Which one do you like better? Which one looks cooler? Which one do you think? Because you're, you know, always welcome to disagree with me. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. Good night.